Here we have the current stock market update for SOUNDHOUND AI Incorporated, stock ticker SOUN. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So what we're looking at here is a bit of a shorter term time frame. This would be the 30-minute price chart, which means that each candle on this time frame represents a 30-minute trading period. And as we can see, we're starting to sort of base a bit at somewhat higher levels. The stock had been, in some fairly significant trouble here recently. If we just sort of pull back here a bit, we can see that there was a lot of downside price movement after the stock posted highs at 645. We fell to lows at 394, and then from there, it was a lot of sideways sort of trading activity here. We did see a lot of really sort of a trading range type of movement here, and then that trading range itself also started to constrict, as you can see here. So, like, what I mean by this is that the range here was much larger. Previously, it was roughly 394 to 550, so that's over $1.50. But then, as you can see here, as things went on, that trading range really started to tighten and become smaller. So, when that does happen, really what it means is that there's more energy that is starting to build in the market. I mean, I don't mean to sound like, an astrologist or that I worship, stones or gems or something like that. But, there is some reality to this when any asset share prices really start to constrict like this, you do tend to see forceful moves in one direction or another. And that's because, you're dealing with a period of indecision, and a lot of energy does build up in the market because the ultimate price moves do tend to be more forceful. So, at the risk of sounding like I, read my horoscope or something, which I do not, by the way. Some people seem to think that I like believe in astrology and things like that. I do not. I don't believe in anything metaphysical. This is just simple price behavior here. And when you see a period of indecision, that decision point tends to become more forceful. So we are starting to see that here, and the share price itself has started to trade a bit sideways, but with higher support zones that have started to form. So where previously we were seeing the stock trade at 445, now the major level to the downside comes in at 486. This near-term trend high is still $5.77. We don't need to update that at all. But the real question here is whether or not we're really going to be able to form a base, in these upper fours, and then start to see further price movements into those $5 levels. For the most part, I do think that that's the most likely scenario at this point because, in my view, this break above 550 was actually a very significant break. We are starting to get some volatile price action, so a lot of choppy kind of two-way price action that has developed here. But I think that that's largely because the market is trying to break out of its prior range, and it's just sort of now it's starting to define its new trend. Like, what is the new trading range? We're trying to define those numbers exactly, and it's a little bit of a messy process. It's not a perfect process. So, at the moment, the level to the downside to watch does come in at 486. But, I do think that this 550 level, this break was important. As we can see here, we have new highs of 577. And the reason that I was pointing to that level previously at 550 is because this is, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of the declining move from 645 to 394. And then in addition to that, you also have a very important chart formation that started to occur here. As you can see, if you look closely here, this is a double, very clearly defined double top resistance zone. And it comes right into contact with 550, which is also a bit of a psychological level as well. So, I don't focus on that as much as the other two factors. But it does sort of suggest that this is a price level that the market could be watching. So this movement above there is significant in my view. I mean, it's been a bit messy. We have seen some share price declines back into 486, but I think that the stock is really just trying to find its footing at this point. If we did see a break below 486, that would start to sort of erode or invalidate some of this viewpoint. We would have to start to look for lower price levels at that stage. The next level to watch to the downside comes in right around 455, roughly this area here. But for the most part, we are developing a new uptrend here, as we can see. I mean, we do have some higher lows that are starting to develop, and that has been the case now for quite some time. All the way going back to 433 to 445. Those are higher lows, and then we got 455 here, followed by 486. So they're not hugely impressive moves, and some people that have been in the stock have been in the stock for quite a while. So it might be a bit frustrating. We might want to see these massive upward price movements. But in my view, what you're really looking for is for a bullish structure to start to form itself. That is the real issue. It's not really seeing these massive spikes higher. That might even be short-lived. People might not even be able to take those gains. Some people might be waiting for further gains, and then those rallies might start to reverse. The real issue is building a positive structure here. You're building a foundation to a house, and you want that house to be able to, withstand a hurricane, for example. You want these structures to be able to hold up longer term, and you want to be able to form a base here. And this does appear to be what is happening. So there were some kind of unfortunate moves into those lower $4 areas. But as we continue to see higher lows that are developing here, and then significant breaks of resistance like we saw at this 577 point here, I do think that the overall structure here is looking more and more positive. So if we're going to sort of take a step back here just to close the video, that prior price high at 645 is really starting to come into focus. Just before I close things out here, I will look at this short-term reading here that is suggesting a little bit of negative momentum. And then we do actually still have some longer-term momentum that has been in place since we were trading near that 645 area. But this is sort of a weak reading. There really isn't much momentum here. It's almost a flatlining trend line here. So not much major price momentum to the downside. But personally, I mean, if I'm long the stock, I would want to see this short-term level break to the top side, because then at the very least, I think that you're looking for a retest of that prior 645 resistance area, which would be a fairly significant event. And that is the most likely scenario because we have now already broken through the 618 retracement. So, you've got some resistance at the 718 retracement right around 595, but then from there you're looking at a test of 645. So here's the current market update for SOUNDHOUND AI, stock ticker SOUN. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.